Well, I'm delighted to say joining me in the studio now is one of the Generation Y presenters, Chris Deacy, who many of our viewers may recognise from the Kent Film Club. Chris, welcome back.
Thank you, Bartholomew.
Really good to see you again. First of all, you've been working on this show for months. How does it feel to finally see it going out this evening?
It actually feels amazing, and just watching that clip there, it's exactly a year to the week since we started filming Generation Y. It was just before Halloween last year, which is also an indication of what's going to come up in the first episode tonight. But it's like watching my whole life flash before me.
Absolutely, and you know, our regular viewers will know you talking about film and TV. How does it feel to kind of be in front of the camera instead of behind it?
Well, it's incredible because actually the two sort of work together, and one of the episodes involves me going with our co-presenters to a cinema just outside Manchester, and that's how the journey kind of started for me, because I do a lot of work obviously in film, as you say, but I also teach religion. And one of the things that was just so incredible about doing this series is suddenly finding that I'm being taught both by the co-presenters and the young people who are part of this project. So it's been incredible and part of a journey just to actually find that what 11 to 15-year-olds, which is our target audience, are saying about religion completely makes me rethink what I've been doing for years and years. So it's been the most enormous and fantastic journey.
And talk to me about the connection with the BFI then, and how the British Film Institute has come into this. I understand you were part of the team working towards securing that fund for KMTV to be able to make Generation Y.
Yeah, and I can't thank the whole team at KMTV enough for the magnificent work done here, because it's been a real sort of labour of love in actually getting external funding to show that this kind of work is validated. Because obviously I work in the arts and humanities, and often, of course, you know, we need all the help, of course, we need all the publicity we can do. We do amazing work, and I think to have that sanctioned in this way by the BFI just shows that this is such an important project.
And we wanted to be joined this evening by two of your co-presenters, Alex and Sadgun. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight. We had a few technical issues getting them on the line. But talk to me about what it was like to work with those two.
Well, it was exactly a year ago. I keep saying that, but it was the anniversary. Yes. I think even to the day since we actually had the auditions. And Sadgun had been part of the Generation Genome project. He was in the audience. But I mean, these are young people. I think they were both 14 when they auditioned for this, and they have a future. There's no doubt in front of the camera, and also just in terms of bringing inquisitiveness, curiosity. I mean, neither of them are coming from an obvious sort of like religious studies background, which is where I am based. But they're young people who are fascinated by questions around spirituality. And so they ask questions themselves, organically. You know, this wasn't scripted. They went out on location, as I did. I spent quite a bit of time in the swimming pool. That was an interesting story, doing things way outside my comfort zone. I think that's what has made the series so incredible, for me actually immersing myself literally, for example, in water and asking questions about nature, mysticism, spirituality, and doing it while floating in the water with sort of lots of 14-year-olds around who do that sort of more naturally. I'm the one who's floating and the one who's actually sinking.
Now, you mentioned the first of our generation series, Generation Genome. Now, following on from that sort of format, you have the sort of panel element of it, where you're talking to young people from schools and different groups from across the county, or the country rather. Did you learn anything yourself from that experience?
One example is the one on AI, because that has impacted, as you can imagine, on my professional work in terms of, you know, AI in education. But also it came up in one of the panels, and asking in terms of the questions that were there, in terms of what the panellists were talking about. So we had panels composed of a range of people from different religious persuasions, and none depending on each of the topics. And so it was like a question time format, but we had the most amazing questions from the mainly young people in the audience who were quizzing those of us on the panel. So it was kind of like I was fielding the questions and coordinating that from the panel point of view, but we had incredible diverse sort of questions. I'm not joking. When I was that age, when I was 11, there's no way I could have asked and thought in those sort of ways. So I think that just going around the country, meeting people from different parts of the country, different religious groups, has just been an important way of learning what is going on out there.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Chris, for joining us and giving us those details. The first episode of Generation Y will be playing this evening just after Made in Kent, so stick around to watch that. From me, see you later.